Ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. This society is hell right now. On the left, we got the woke culture that has invaded the Democratic Party in a lot of people's eyes. You got rising taxes. You got, yes, the economy looks good in terms of numbers, but the labor participation rate was questionable at best. You have a situation right now where we're looking at the streets of America. We're seeing violence all over the damn place. Gun laws needing to be addressed, not being addressed. And accurate or not, the perception is the Biden administration with Kamala Harris is not as good as we thought it would be.
Duh.
And there's reports every day that even the Democrats don't want him running.
All right, there's so much here. Let's start from the end and work our way back. It really feels like Stephen A. lives in an echo chamber and does not hear from leftists at all. It's so clear. Saying the stuff about like not as good as we thought it would be. Yes, completely. There were some hurdles, mainly with Joe Manchin, Kyrsten Sinema blocking the filibuster, blocking the Voting Rights Act. Joe Biden's fellow senator, because he was a former senator in Delaware, Chris Coons, has been awful. We all knew as leftists that this was the compromise. Right after South Carolina, Bernie Sanders was rolling and rolling and rolling. And then suddenly Joe Biden wins South Carolina and the entire establishment backs out of the race and endorses Joe Biden. This was the compromise. We didn't want this. Some others didn't want this. He is a conservative Democrat. What do you expect you were going to get? For real. For real. We knew. It says he cares about climate change. The most drilling that we've seen out of a president. More than Donald Trump. The Willow Project. Another terrible, terrible piece of legislation. But these are the good guys, right? They're not. They care about a woman's right to preserve her body however she chooses. They care about science. They are not fascists. But it's not like they're great. Another thing. He brought up, Stephen A. did, the labor and the jobs report, the economy looks good, but the labor report is bad. Basically, what I'm hearing is these youngsters just don't want to work anymore. That's all I'm hearing. When really, what the youngsters learned from the pandemic is they don't need to take the Zoomers and Boomers crap anymore because they'll just hold out for what they want to do. And I applaud them for that. We went from quiet quitting to, I'm just going to quit and you guys can figure it out. Because we have realized through the pandemic, they don't need it. We don't need it. There are better ways to go about it. And they, as in Stephen A.'s demographic and older, view that as, oh, these entitled little pricks. Nope, wrong. That is not the case at all. You know what the case is? The case is people want more out of life. They don't want to go in and be heckled and get crapped on by a customer base for minimum wage that has not increased with inflation, with the times, what have you. The minimum wage in this country should probably be at $30. But yet we have different parts of this country, like Sarah Huckabee Sanders and other Christo-fascists that are saying, you know what we really need? We need to exploit child labor. On top of this, the woke culture that he talked about, dude, where to begin? First off, it's a 75-year-old term. This is not something new. But I'm just curious from his perspective. What do you mean by woke? Because we know what it means. We've talked about it many times on the show. What do you think it means? Do you think it is the pushing of the LGBTQ agenda? Because that's wrong. Do you think it's about having trans women play in high school sports? 'Cause that's wrong as well. So I'm curious, is Clay Travis rubbing off on him? Or is it because Stephen A. Smith is the same guy that urged others to vote Republican? He's a capitalist. I'm just curious, man. When we're talking about money, are you going to be part of the problem or part of the solution in rooting money out of politics? Because the past dialogue you have put forth and what we just saw right here says that you are for it. And I'm really curious. He makes $12 million a year. He's teased doing late night. That's something that he aspires to be, a late night TV host. He launched his Mr. SAS Productions. He's also teased a run for president by saying, look, if people want me to do it, I'll do it. But Monty Jones, as I've covered previously, even said that he could do it, not necessarily president, but he could do it. I don't know what level that would be at, but does he foresee making more if he were to be in politics because of what he could make? I'll await his reply.